Hi and a very warm welcome. You are listening to Crime Tales. I am Subbu. Case 1, The Obsessed Lover, Episode 3. Aarav stands frozen, eyes wide with shock, as he stares at the lifeless body of Shivani Mishra. The room, once just another anonymous hotel space, now feels like the epicenter of a nightmare. Without a second thought, Aarav runs out of the room, his footsteps echoing in the corridor. The elevator doors, a beacon of escape, are just within reach, but as he frantically presses the button, a housekeeping staff member notices him. The worker's curious gaze lingers on Aarav's frantic conduct, sensing something amiss. Suspicion gnaws at him, and he rushes into the room Aarav has just fled. As the elevator doors slide shut, Aarav descends, his mind racing faster than the floors ticking by. The housekeeping staff has found Shivani's body and alerted the manager, who's now determined to catch the fleeing culprit, Aarav. The elevator doors open and Aarav runs out. The manager spots him and gives chase. Aarav sprints out of the lobby, but the streets offer no escape. The commotion draws the attention of passers-by and soon they surround him. Desperation grips him as he pleads with the crowd, his voice cracking with fear. "I didn't do anything," Aarav cries, but his flight only deepens their suspicion. The police are called and his protests of innocence fall on deaf ears. Meanwhile, back at his home, Varun calmly sips his coffee. He waits with calculated patience, knowing that everything is unfolding precisely as planned. The knock on his door interrupts his thoughts. It's Priya, her face pale with panic. "Varun, Aarav has been caught," she stammers, her voice shaking, "for the murder of a woman." Feigning shock, Varun sets his cup down with deliberate care. "What? What woman, Priya? Where?" he asks, his voice layered with fake concern. "Shivani Mishra, that woman." Priya chokes out, her anxiety palpable. Varun's heart races with hidden triumph as he accompanies Priya to the police station. The atmosphere is tense. The lodge where it all happened is now a crime scene, and Shivani's body is on its way for postmortem. Aarav sits in custody, bewildered and alone. Playing the role of the supportive friend, Varun pleads with the officers, his voice honeyed with sincerity. "Sir, I know you have to do your job, but please, let Priya meet her husband just once. She's in shock, completely traumatized. Just 5 minutes, that's all I ask." The officers, softened by his appeal, allow Priya a brief visit. Inside the lockup, Aarav's eyes brim with tears as he sees her. "I did nothing, Priya," he whispers, his voice cracking under the weight of his fear and confusion. But Priya's voice trembles with a question that pierces through the tension. "Why did you go there, Aarav? Why?" "Priya, I made a mistake. She called me there. I don't know why, but I believed what she said, that she wanted to reveal the person who's doing this to me, to us." Aarav cries out. Outside the police station, Varun waits, his emotions tightly controlled. The mask of concern he wears hides the happiness bubbling within him. He recalls how back in that hotel room Shivani had confronted him, her voice laced with accusation. "What are you planning to do, Varun? To kill Aarav?" With cold precision, Varun had charged at her, his hands tightening around her throat, squeezing the life out of her. Her struggles had been brief, her final breath a whisper against his skin. Methodically, he had staged the scene, tearing a piece of her dress to suggest a struggle and wiping away any trace of his presence. A wad of cash left behind added a layer of deceit, all designed to frame Aarav perfectly. As Priya emerges from the police station, shattered and desolate, Varun is there to catch her as she falls. "Priya, don't you worry. We will do everything possible under the sun to save Aarav. He could have been blackmailed by that woman, Priya. He could have been driven to do what he did." Priya is shaken up. But Aarav says that he found the woman already dead, Varun. You think Aarav is lying?" Varun looks away, an act he puts up to further deepen Priya's doubts. "What, Varun? Did the cops say something?" "Priya, they found a lot of cash there. They think some altercation happened between Aarav and Shivani." "Varun, do you also think Aarav killed the woman?" "I don't know, Priya. You know what bothers me is, why did Aarav run away from there if he didn't do anything? They're saying he tried to escape. If he didn't do anything, then why did he run away instead of informing the police? Priya is caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Varun has seeded the doubt in her mind about Aarav's culpability in the crime. The truth will come out, Priya, whatever it is. We need to stand by Aarav at this moment. And we will. Varun reassures her. When Aarav and Priya's parents arrive, the scene is one of utter dismay. Aarav's parents are appalled not just by the events that have transpired, but by the secrecy that surrounded it all. How could you not tell us? Aarav's mother wails, her grief quickly turning to blame as she rounds on Priya. How could you let this happen? Why didn't you go to the police when all this started, Priya? Priya, already on the edge, crumbles under the weight of the accusations. The anguish of seeing Aarav behind bars, coupled with the blame from his parents, is too much to bear. Sensing his opportunity, Varun steps in, positioning himself as a defender. Auntie, how can you blame Priya for all that has happened? She has stood by Aarav through thick and thin. What can she do if Aarav chooses not to tell her that he was being blackmailed by that woman? Aarav did not even talk to Priya before going to meet that girl. He could have called Priya or even me. Either of us could have gone with him, but he didn't inform any of us. He went alone. In Varun's words, Priya starts sensing that Aarav could be lying to her about having found Shivani already dead there. Inside her room alone with Varun, Priya asks him stupefied. Varun, did Aarav go there to the lodge only to kill Shivani? That's the only thing I can deduce, Priya, says Varun very soberly. Bringing in a tinge of sadness to his voice, Varun adds, think about it, Priya. If the woman, this Shivani, was trapping Aarav as he claims, then why is it that he walks into a trap again, and all alone? Varun, you think all that Aarav said about Shivani trapping him, could it all be a story he fabricated? Varun puts up his innocent act, at the same time creating a monster out of Aarav. I am in doubt about that as much as you are, Priya. Could be that Aarav got attracted to that woman. He could have slept with her. She could have held on to that, and maybe as she told you when she met you, Aarav could have promised her marriage. And then, realizing that the woman would not give up for anything less than marriage, Aarav could have started paying her. The blackmailing could have happened. The woman could have become very demanding, and Aarav, now not knowing how far he could go on paying her, decided that he would kill her. Priya is shattered. More and more she starts sensing that Aarav never really told her the whole truth about Shivani. Days pass and Aarav remains in custody, subjected to relentless questioning. His pleas of innocence, his recounting of the past 6 months, fall on indifferent ears. The police aren't swayed by his story of being drugged, of being blackmailed, or his suspicion of his colleague Gaurav Agarwal. The evidence, particularly the CCTV footage from the bar in Delhi, paints a damning picture. Aarav and Shivani together, drinking, heading to his room. Aarav's claims that she spiked his drink seem like desperate excuses. And all the while, Varun watches from the sidelines, his heart cooled with satisfaction. The trap has sprung and Aarav is ensnared, exactly as planned. Varun relishes every moment playing the role of the supportive friend to Priya as she navigates the isolation and despair that now define her life. His sympathy is a mask, hiding the sinister satisfaction he feels as he further tightens his web of manipulation. At the same time, miles away in Delhi, he pulls the strings with equal cunning, deceiving Anushka's parents, who have just filed a missing person report with the police. The Delhi police are on the hunt for Manish Suri, and the search quickly spreads. In Bangalore, the police have already reached Manish's flat, but it's too late. Manish has vanished without a trace. Varun's plan is unfolding with flawless precision on both the fronts, Mission Priya and Mission Anushka. He shuttles between Ahmedabad and Delhi, expertly playing his cards. In a master stroke, he introduces a new twist to Anushka's disappearance. Papa, Ma, I didn't tell you this earlier. I didn't know how to break it. Varun cries out to Anushka's parents. The grief-stricken parents ask in puzzlement, What, Varun? What is it? Anushka was pregnant with Manish's child, Papa. Anushka's parents are shocked. That's why she was desperate for a divorce. Varun continues. I had told Anushka right from the beginning that this Manish is a crooked guy. Now I think he He would not have wanted to marry her as he had promised, and so killed her. Anushka's mother breaks down. Her father is not able to process what he has just heard. Varun's revelation about Anushka's pregnancy adds a dark, ominous layer to her disappearance. The Delhi cops, driven by Varun's description of Manish, as to what extent he could go, also start believing that Anushka could have been killed by Manish. Soon Anushka's last phone location is traced to Mysore, the place where Varun had sent Shivani to, and got Anushka's phone switched off there. The Bangalore police launch a search for Anushka's body in Mysore, following Varun's carefully laid trail of deceit. Manish, on the run and desperate, is eventually caught sneaking into Anushka's flat in Mumbai. I was here to search for clues to Anushka's whereabouts, sir. I swear to God, Anushka didn't come to Bangalore. He cries out to the cops who have come to arrest him, but the police aren't convinced by Manish's claims. Arrested and charged with abducting Anushka with harmful intentions, Manish finds himself trapped in Varun's web. As Varun's schemes continue to bear fruit, the situation for Aarav worsens. The murder charges against him for killing Shivani Mishra grow more severe by the day. In a desperate attempt to save Aarav, his parents and lawyer latch on to his earlier theory that Priya was manipulating the situation to push for a separation. Aarav is dead against his lawyer bringing in Priya into this. Priya is just as innocent as me, Aarav tells his lawyer. This is someone else playing me against Priya and Priya against me. Aarav's father tells him that his colleague Gaurav Agarwal, whom Aarav suspects to be behind this, has nothing to do with it. Aarav, the cops have interrogated your colleague Gaurav. They have found nothing against him. Aarav's lawyer adds in. Shivani came up to you in that Delhi bar, trapped you. You spent the night with her. Definitely you were drugged. Now the next thing you hear is that she sends the explicit video to your wife Priya. Why? Why does she do that? She also meets your wife. Aarav shouts out agitated. My wife told me all about the meeting with this woman. This Shivani did that only to further turn my wife against me. This Shivani was being manipulated by someone else. Aarav's mother juts in. How do you know that Priya was telling you the truth? You yourself said someone called you and told you that Priya was doing all this to trap you in case of infidelity and then seek divorce from you, Aarav. Ma, there is no one in Priya's life, I know that, Aarav argues. And what would Priya really gain in trapping me? If she wanted to separate from me, she could have said that to my face, just as I would do that if I wanted to separate from her. Someone is playing this game. I did not kill Shivani. She was already dead when I reached there. I made the mistake of running away. That was the only mistake I made. He cries out. Aarav, it's going to be very difficult to prove that you didn't kill Shivani. All things are stacked against you. The only reason I'm bringing in your wife Priya is because your parents told me that she staunchly believes that you weren't trapped. His lawyer breaks the truth to Aarav. Aarav is shocked. What does Priya then believe? That I killed Shivani? Yes, Aarav. His mother butts in. Priya is definitely seeing someone, Aarav. You're not able to see that. She is the one doing all this. Why couldn't she trust you when you said you were drugged and trapped? Why did she have to immediately conclude that you were having an affair? Aarav's mind now starts wondering if it could be true that Priya is doing this to him. As per what you say, the woman never contacted you again until the morning when she asked you to come to the lodge, Aarav. The lawyer continues. But she cleverly kept sending everything to Priya. I frankly don't think the intention was to honey trap you in the sex thing, but to bring it to this point and trap you in a murder case. Even the bait that was being used, Shivani, probably wouldn't have known that she would be killed. Aarav is broken and confused. He doesn't want to blame Priya for all that is happening to him, but much against his will, he agrees to the lawyer's point to bring in Priya into his defense as the one who could have manipulated the entire thing. Priya is shattered when she learns that Aarav is pinning the blame on her. She confronts him in the lockup. How dare you say this, Aarav? Priya, it's just a line of defense. There is definitely someone else doing this. Aarav tries to explain it to her. How does blaming me as the one who did all this going to shift the onus on someone else whom neither I know nor you do, Aarav? You suspected your colleague Gaurav. When nothing turns up against him, you, your lawyer, your parents find a scapegoat in me? Priya, tell me the truth. Do you believe that I killed Shivani? I seriously don't know what to believe anymore, Aarav. The least I could believe is that you would once again throw it at me that I'm the one who's trying to trap you. You know what? Your parents, right from day one, when you were arrested for this murder, have been holding me responsible for everything they think is happening to you. Not once did they ever try to understand what I was going through. Priya, they are as shocked and traumatized as much as you. Please don't take everything they say as some kind of accusation against you. And damn it, why are you trying to play a victim when the actual victim is me, here inside the jail, trapped and falsely accused of a murder I didn't commit? Do you even think about me? Aarav shouts at her. It was not me who got attracted just like that to a woman who showed a bit of her legs sitting next to you, Aarav. Aarav now loses himself. Yes, I made a mistake. A mistake. I'm human after all, Priya. I just sat with her and had a conversation. I was unaware that she had spiked my drink. You are very innocent, Aarav. You don't realize why a woman is getting so close to you right at the first meeting. And then again, very innocently, you give in to her call and go to meet her all by yourself. After all that has happened, you go there to meet her alone, once again. You are a nice human being. You are a nice innocent victim. Priya adds sarcastically. Aarav is fuming with rage. At the same time, a sadness engulfs him. You were never with me, Priya. Never. I wonder why I believe that come what may you will stand by me. Who is it, Priya? Who are you doing all this for? And what for? Aarav now makes a direct accusation. You killed that woman, Aarav. You killed her. I am sure about that now. Priya throws it back on Aarav's face and walks out. Aarav stands crestfallen. Priya too is no less shattered, her world crumbling around her. Sensing the perfect moment to strike, Varun feigns disbelief that Aarav could stoop so low. I can't believe he's counter-accusing you, Priya. This is just too much. I know what his parents think, what his lawyer thinks. But Aarav, how can he think like this? You have stood by him like a rock through all this, taking every misdemeanor of his in your stride, forgiving him still, and now? Priya, I don't know what to say anymore. But I do know what I'm going to do now, Varun. Priya declares. What? Asks Varun. I'm divorcing Aarav. Enough of this. I can't take it anymore. Taking a deep breath, Varun puts a hand on Priya's shoulder. Whatever decision you take, Priya, remember one thing. I'll always stand by you. In Delhi, Manish is subjected to brutal interrogation. The police determined to extract the truth about where he supposedly killed and disposed of Anushka. I am telling you the truth. Anushka never came to Bangalore. She was not pregnant. This man Varun is lying. Anushka wouldn't just leave for Bangalore without talking to me first, pleads Manish. Despite his claims, the digital evidence tells a different story. Anushka's last known movements, messages exchanged between her and Manish, all point to Bangalore. CCTV footage from Anushka's Mumbai apartment further incriminates Manish, showing him as a frequent visitor while Varun was away in Ahmedabad. Varun, alone and staring at his reflection in the mirror, smiles. He has masterfully manipulated both ends of his plot, steering events to ensure his victory. Shivani Mishra, or rather Reena Awasthi, her real name, has been unmasked by the investigation in Ahmedabad. A call girl from Delhi with a history of honey trapping, Reena's past only solidifies the case against Aarav. It now seems clear that Aarav was seduced by her in Delhi only to become ensnared in a blackmail scheme. The explicit video she sent to Priya is seen as just another part of her extortion, and the evidence piles up against Aarav. There is no third party involved in trapping Aarav, is what the investigation concludes. As the trial for Shivani's murder unfolds, Aarav's chances of escaping the charges grow dimmer by the day. Witnesses from the lodge where she was killed testify against him, and the fingerprints found at the crime scene match Aarav's. Every piece of evidence points in one direction, towards his guilt. While the trial drags on, Varun seizes the opportunity to deepen his bond with Priya. He becomes a rock, the one person she can lean on during these harrowing times. His patience, his support, all seem genuine, and soon their friendship blossoms into something more. The closeness Varun has yearned for since their college days finally materializes. In a moment of passion, they cross the line and Varun's long-held dream becomes a reality. Varun's victory is nearly complete. Anushka's parents, still desperate for answers, find solace in Varun, the one person who appears to be as devastated as they are. He has succeeded in turning Aarav into a villain in Priya's life and has painted Manish as the culprit behind Anushka's disappearance. Varun stands far from any suspicion. His role in the two murders he committed, first Anushka's, then Shivani's, buried deep beneath his careful manipulation. He is the architect of his own triumph, with nothing and no one to stand in his way. Manish Suri is finally granted bail. Despite efforts by the Delhi and Bangalore police, Anushka's body remains unfound, leaving them without the crucial evidence needed to convict him. With no body and no conclusive proof of murder, the case against Manish weakens, though suspicion still looms heavily over him as the prime suspect. Meanwhile, Varun plays the part of the grieving yet determined son-in-law. I will fight till my last breath, Papa, Ma, to get justice for Anushka. I will not let this Manish Suri go scot-free, says Varun with tears in his eyes and a voice trembling with emotion. For Anushka's parents, Varun is the perfect son-in-law, the kind-hearted, loyal man who Anushka tragically failed to appreciate before falling for Manish Suri, leading to her untimely demise. You've been with us all the time, Varun. You've been there even after Anushka cheated on you, gave you the divorce papers. Anushka's father is emotional. I loved her, Papa. I loved her more than she realized. And even if she had left me, I would have never broken ties with you and Ma. You are no less parents to me. Varun furthers his emotional pitch. You are still a son to us, Varun. Anushka's father looks at him with tears in his eyes. We will fight to find the truth to what happened to Anushka. But we as parents want you to move on with your life, Varun. Varun hugs Anushka's parents. He has woven the emotional web quite effectively to ensure they never suspect any wrongdoing on his part. Anushka's murder has been successfully laid to rest as an unsolved case. Aarav's trial drags on for a year, each hearing dimming the hope of his acquittal. The evidence against him is overwhelming, and his defense grows weaker with every passing day. For Varun, each step closer to Aarav's conviction is a step closer to realizing his dream of having Priya all to himself. Finally, the day of reckoning arrives. Aarav's trial concludes with a devastating verdict. He is convicted of murdering Shivani Mishra and sentenced to life imprisonment. As Aarav is led away, a broken and shattered man, his parents promise to appeal, but their words do little to console him. The fight has drained him of all hope. In Bangalore, Manish Suri is equally distraught. He was in love with Anushka and the mystery of her disappearance torments him. How could she have travelled from Ahmedabad to Bangalore, yet never met him? Where did she go? What happened to her? These questions haunt him, but answers remain elusive. Amidst this turmoil, Varun makes his long-awaited move, the dream he harbored since his college days. The life with Priya he always imagined now seems within reach. It's at a cafe when they are having coffee one evening when Varun makes the move. Priya, I want to ask you something. Varun starts hesitantly. Priya smiles, a kind of reassurance to Varun that he can broach the topic he wants to. Before you ask, I would like to ask you something, Varun. Yes, please do, he says eagerly. Back in our college days, when you just disappeared after graduation, I was wondering, were you in love with me, Varun? Varun smiles. You want to know the truth, Priya? Yes, of course, the truth and the whole truth. Varun takes his time before he responds. Priya, I think I have been in love with you even before I met you. Priya laughs. Now that's scary, Varun. It's the truth, Priya. And yes, I was in love with you. I never told you. Why? Varun goes silent. Is it because I told you about Aarav before you could tell me about your feelings? I always wanted to see you happy, Priya. Back then also my sentiments were the same. I was happy for you when you told me you were marrying your childhood love. I was happy in your happiness. That's what true love is all about, I believe. Priya holds Varun's hands. Their hands are now intertwined. Will you marry me, Priya? Varun finally tells the words he always intended to tell her. Yes, Varun. Priya accepts his proposal. Their marriage is a simple, quiet affair, a court ceremony attended by only a few close family members. Priya's parents are there to bless them, as are Anushka's parents, who have travelled from Delhi to be part of this new chapter in Varun's life. For them, Varun is no less than a son, a beacon of strength in the time of grief. But as Varun basks in the fulfillment of his lifelong dream, a shadow looms over his newfound happiness. He has built his future on the bodies of two women, Anushka and Shivani, and buried his crimes deep within his heart. Can true happiness be found on such a foundation? Can the truth remain hidden forever, untouched by the hands of justice? Unknown to Varun, the fields of fate are turning. At the river where he discarded Anushka's body, workers from the Public Works Department are busy reinforcing the embankment. As they dig and toil, something unexpected surfaces. Human bones. Long hidden beneath the water's surface, now brought to light by the very forces of nature. Is this a sign that what man-made laws fail to uncover, nature's law will now reveal? Has the moment come when the truth will rise from the depths, threatening to shatter the life Varun has so carefully constructed?